the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 69/320. It is my honor to give the floor to Mr. Michael Møller, Director General of the United Nations Office in Geneva. Director General.
Thank you. Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. As we raise the flags of the Holy See and the State of Palestine today, we raise the hope of the international community. Hope for peace, hope for intercultural dialogue, and in particular hope for progress in the peace process in the Middle East. Let these flags, as they fly next to that of the United Nations, be a reminder that we must never lose faith. As His Holiness the Pope emphasized at the General Assembly this year, the contemporary world is experiencing a growing and steady social fragmentation. Restoring confidence in one another should be a priority for all of us. The Holy See has long been an active observer at the United Nations. It plays a particularly important role in the promotion of intercultural and interreligious dialogue. There are too many instances where religion is used to divide people. Being attentive to such instances enables us to speak out against them, and the Holy See has done so repeatedly. Hence, the presence of the Holy See, especially at the Human Rights Council here in Geneva, is of the utmost importance to all of us. Raising these flags is an act of large symbolism. It particularly reflects the commitment of the Palestinian Authority to pursue the long-held dream of the Palestinian people of their own state. And it also reflects the lasting commitment of the United Nations to support Palestinians and Israelis in coming to a negotiated agreement that will realize a two-state solution, which is long overdue. The alarming incidents in the West Bank and Israel in recent days forcefully reminds us of that urgent necessity. The United Nations stands for the promotion of non-violence and human rights. The symbolism of the Israeli and Palestinian flags flying peacefully here in Geneva, the city of peace, should serve as an inspiration to Israelis and Palestinians alike. And I urge both sides to uphold these commitments in the challenging days ahead. We must all support a successful peace process. With the two flags of the Holy See and Palestine being raised, let me once again cite His Holiness the Pope, who said about the United Nations that the history of this organized community of states is one of important common achievements over a period of unusually fast-paced changes. These words remind us that when all peoples whose flags are lined up here work together, we can overcome long-standing deadlock and shape positive change. Hope gives people the strength to come together in pursuit of a common goal. The two flags of the Holy See and of Palestine at the United Nations serve to mobilize hope in the promotion of peace, rights, and well-being worldwide. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Director General. And now it is my honor to invite Monsignor Richard Gyhra, who will deliver remarks on behalf of Archbishop Silvano Tomasi, Permanent Observer of the Holy See in Geneva. Monsignor.
Mr. Director General, Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the occasion of the raising of the flag of the Holy See can be seen as a symbol of its willingness to continue its determined participation in the activities of the United Nations and its affiliated bodies. Thank you all very much for your presence at this very important event. With the many crises facing the international community today, the role of the United Nations becomes ever more crucial. We all feel a responsibility to contribute to the important service the UN renders to the human family in the search for peace and the pursuit of development as a benefit to all people in respect of their conscience and identity. As all the flags wave together, may they signify that a convergence of efforts on the part of all the countries of the world will succeed in bringing about the end of conflicts and other causes of senseless suffering. Then these flags will become a message of goodwill and fraternity in the world and of a hope for a better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Monsignor. And now I invite Monsignor and Director General to Holy See. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and now it is my honor to invite His Excellency Mr. Riyad al-Maliki, Minister for Foreign Affairs of the State of Palestine, to deliver his remarks. Mr. Minister, please.
Mr. Director General, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, friends, from Palestine, I bring greetings. From Palestine, I bring with me the hope of my nation in a better future for their children, free from occupation and its daily destructive policies and humiliations. Yesterday, Palestine's flag was raised in Vienna with wide international participation. Today, we gather with you on another occasion that embodies our people's dignified resilience and determination to continue their just struggle for freedom and to live like the rest of the peoples of the world, in peace in their independent sovereign state. Their legitimate aspirations and hopes echoed in the colors of this flag that will be raised today. Today, we take one more step towards materializing sovereignty and statehood. Raising the flag is a reflection of our determination to become a full-fledged member of the United Nations. It also reaffirms a fact that our occupiers refuse to see, that we are here to stay, and one day soon we will break off the chains of this occupation and celebrate our long overdue independence. Today, we raise Palestine's flag high. Around the world, flags are symbols of a nation's history and dignity. For my people, the flag is a summary of my people's plight for freedom and justice. It is also the banner under which our people have sacrificed and persevered for decades against all odds, including attempts to deny our identity as a people with legitimate national rights who have suffered and continue to endure injustice. In Palestine, our flag flies in defiance of the occupier, who tears it down and bans it, who shoots whoever tries to raise it high, killing or detaining them. Many have been killed intending to raise it. But still, we rise and we preserve. For them all, the flag is here. Symbols also essential in politics, particularly for the Palestinian people, who were given all reasons to despair of the future. But my people are aware that this step, which is based on strong legal and political ground, also took Palestinian statehood a significant step closer to reality. This step also sends a loud message to Israel, the occupying power, that the Palestinian people will not surrender to the logic of brute force inflicted on them, and that its attempts to erase the Palestinian identity will not succeed. Raising the Palestinian flag today should remind the world of the occupation and its injustice. It should also serve as a reminder that the international system has, thus far, failed to fully discharge its obligation in providing peace and security to the Palestinian people. It is also a reminder that every day that passes by takes us further away from the two-state solution and the threat that represents, not only to the Palestinian people, but for the world as a whole. The overwhelming support the vote on the resolution to raise the flag received underscores one more time the support of the international community to the cause of peace, and with it, human rights for all. We are grateful to all those states that have stood by this initiative and supported it by voting in favor of raising the flag. While celebrating this important occasion here, it comes at the backdrop of a great escalation on the ground back home, particularly in occupied East Jerusalem, where Israeli occupation soldiers and gangs of armed settlers are unleashing in tandem a wave of violence and hate on the Palestinian civilian population, compounding an already tense situation. Over the past 2 weeks, repeated acts of aggression, provocations, and incitement by both Israeli extremists and government officials against Palestinian civilians and the right of Muslim worshippers to access Al-Haram al-Sharif in occupied East Jerusalem have resulted in several shocking incidents of extrajudicial executions of Palestinian civilians, including children. This is why I am compelled to remind on this occasion of the standing legal and moral responsibility that the international community, particularly the Security Council, has towards Palestine. They must act responsibly and immediately to de-escalate this crisis and to insist on respect for international law without exception. If Israel, the occupying power, is permitted to persist with such attacks and illegal measures against the Palestinian people and their land and holy sites with impunity, the situation will surely devolve even further with vastly negative consequences. Today, we want to also send a message about the moral and legal requirement of confronting impunity and ensuring accountability. As my people continue to pursue freedom and independence with dignified and peaceful political and legal steps, the world must ensure that the principle of accountability is applied universally and without exception. Israel, the occupying power, must understand that its crimes and violations will have consequences. Crimes will not be unpunished. In this regard, the State of Palestine has repeatedly appealed for international protection and calls once again for protection for the defenseless Palestinian people who are suffering immensely as a result of the occupying power's violence against the civilian population. The historic vote confirmed the long-standing principled position of the international community in support of a just and peaceful solution to the plight of the Palestinian people through the exercise of their inalienable right to self-determination. It also re-emphasized the established position that they do not recognize the illegal actions of the occupation, including illegal settlements, which aim at denying my people their basic and fundamental rights to freedom by destroying the practicability of the two-state solution and with it, the prospects of peace. Preserving the two-state solution based on 1967 borders, including Jerusalem, requires the effective and urgent confrontation of the occupation's illegal and provocative actions, including settlement activities and terrorist attacks by settlers groups. This is a conviction that Palestine shares with the international community. Preserving the two-state solution also requires the recognition of Palestinian rights to self-determination and independence without conditions. A practical step in this regard is the recognition of the State of Palestine without delay. For our part, the Palestinian people and their leadership will persevere in pursuing our legitimate national aspirations and will not cease our dignified efforts to achieve a peaceful resolution to this conflict. We will continue to push ahead and use all available political and legal means available to advance our rights and realize our national aspirations. We will combat the hopelessness and despair that the persistent acts of brutality and injustice create with hope and determination. The occupation will not succeed in pushing us out of hope and out of our homeland. We will continue to persevere, deeply rooted in our homeland, determined to plant where the occupation uproots and build where it demolishes. We will hold on to our faith that the future is for justice and freedom, and that the evils of oppression cannot outlast a free people's will to overcome injustice. We truly believe, like our Declaration of Independence states that, and I quote, "Fear of tomorrow can be abolished, for tomorrow brings nothing but security for the just and those who regain their sense of justice." End quote. Thank you all for participating in this important occasion for our people. We are confident that one day soon we shall celebrate with all peace-loving nations and peoples from around the world, raising the Palestinian flag over our capital, Jerusalem. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. And now I would like to invite the Foreign Minister of the State of Palestine and the Director General to raise the flag of the State of Palestine. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.